Hello and welcome to my review of the Sisters of Battle Paragon Warsuits from Games Workshop. One of these box sets will cost you £42 and the kit is comprised of 179 plastic components with 3 50mm round bases. It's a lot of money. Let's not beat around the bush here. £42 is a lot. We're looking at £14 per model. It's still cheaper than characters and things at £21 for a single like blister pack. It's past that comfortable kind of £40 mark. Luckily though, the rules are very good and they're very strong units. So it all really depends on whether you think they're worth the asking price and their poses. So for the structure of the review, as always, I'll talk about the models a little bit. We'll have a look at them close up and look at their detail. I'll go through some size comparisons with other Sisters and Imperium models, and then I'll go through all of their rules at the end. So going back to my point, it really depends on whether you think that these three models are worth that price point. You've got enough spare parts to make 3 heavy flamers, 3 multi-melters or 3 heavy bolters, and their melee weapons can be 3 maces or 3 swords. It's a shame there isn't a third option like the spear. That would be really great if they did have a spear, and that would follow on with the sacrosanct aesthetics and also would look great with Morven Vaal. You get a decent number of spare parts with this kit, and I'll show you them in a moment. But although you can swap the heads around and the weapons, you can't change those legs or arm poses, and that really sucks for these kind of big war suits. The poses that they are sculpted in are just, well, they're awful. None of them are kind of pointing their weapons, none of them are about to take a swipe at anything. They're kind of just like there. And I think that's one of the weaknesses of the Sisters range. Whenever you've got Sisters just standing around doing nothing or just trying to look imposing, it just doesn't work in my opinion. I'd much rather them about to bop someone over the head with a mace, such as this sacrosanct model, or pointing at an enemy like this superior, or even going back to one of the earliest Sisters models, Saint Celestine, just flying about. They look really good in motion, and you can see that with the Penitent engines too. They look good in motion, and the Sisters Repentia and the Arcoflagellants. And the Battle Sisters themselves, there's plenty of them, like, you know, standing on a charred corpse, or running and firing, or throwing a grenade. And I just wish that they'd brought that dynamism to these particular models. Let's have a look at them then, up close. So you've got this one here, which again isn't really doing much. She's got the multi-melter upright. The heavy bolter would be in a similar pose. For that one, the mace is just kind of stood there. The one thing I'm not sure about is where her feet are. I guess it's because you look at this chest piece and your eyes focus on it and you think that that's her chest piece, when actually there's a chest piece behind that. So her feet are in that you know, leg joint. Think of like I don't know, in festivals and things, people have those you know, really long leg stilt things covered up. It's a little bit like that, but there's an actual moving joint mechanism in there as well, and I'm not quite sure how that works. With 40K and Games Workshop miniatures, I'm always dumbfounded when models generate more questions than answers, because something's just not right with them, and it's not just their poses. One thing I did forget to mention, which I'm now realising, is other than the 3 range weapons and the 2 melee weapons and the many choice of heads, helmetless and helmeted, you also get a choice of the shoulder auxiliary weapons. So you can have these frag launchers, or I just so happen to have another set here, the storm bolters. It's just normal storm bolter, nothing fancy about that, but there you go. I've gone for the frag launchers, which makes sense for the multi-melt, and I've specifically chosen a different theme for both of the units. I've gone for like a heavy hitting, high strength weaponry unit here with the maces and the multi-melters and the frag launchers, and with my other squad I've gone for the swords and the heavy bolters and the storm bolters, so plenty of dakka there. This Sisters battle is probably, at first glance I wanted to say it's the least worse, you know, but it's just kind of moving forward. The mace is really far out there, and that's how far it goes because of the cabling. The cables for the arms are the trickiest part of the model. But yeah, just sort of like not even walking there, looks like she's going to fall over. The weapon's not really doing anything. She's making her way forwards. They could have opted for some really awesome poses, like with the Contemptor Dreadnoughts, which would have made these look less cumbersome. And I guess she's the superior because she's got this big fancy fleur-de-lis icon thing and a couple of candles on there as well. And then you've got this one as well, which, yeah, is just, again, striking a pose. Doesn't look too bad. Maybe she's firing, but the weapon isn't kind of, you know, central. It's just on the tilt a little bit, but probably the least worse out of the three. An odd thing as well is they all have these pouches, which I can get. I understand that because she can just take her hands off there and reach something in the pouch, and there's a pistol there, so I guess you could pull out a pistol and jump out of the warsuit when it's damaged and continue to fight. It would have been nice if there was a bolt gun like strap there. You know, this is a big heavy warsuit. I'm sure it could carry more than just a normal bolt pistol. You know, even a bolt gun would be superior, or a special weapon, or a load of grenades and things. But alas, that's not to be with these big warsuits. At least they're not silent though, right guys? So that is a close look at the models. Now what I've done in my infinite wisdom is I've actually put the spare parts of this particular set in here with the Castigator spare parts, because I'm super efficient like that. So what I've got instead is this bag of spare parts, and yeah, if you can just kind of like not focus on the maces and the multi-melters in here, then you'll be good to go. Pretty much you're going to be getting the swords right here, and there's 4 swords. There's a fancy sword and 3 others. You're going to be getting the heavy bolters as well, and you're going to be getting the storm bolters too instead of the missiles. You get a lot of heads there, a decent number. I'm counting at least 8 heads there spare. So you know, you can choose to have them helmetless or helmeted. Because the centre of mass is exposed, well, sort of the centre of mass, and their head is exposed, I've given them all helmets. But feel free to put your sisters in more harm's way by removing their helmets and having them with their modern classy haircuts. It's up to you, but they're pretty much the spare parts that you're going to get in the set. So size comparisons then. I've already showcased another Paragon Warsuit. They're going to be the same size as another box, clearly. But next to Morven Val, which you're probably wanting to see, Morven Val, they're sort of the same size, but Morven Val is a little bit taller because of her scenic base. Next to normal sisters, here's one in an excellent pose. They're kind of like, I want to say, sort of double, almost double the height of a normal sister. So if you've got a few squads of sisters, these are other than the penitent engines and the tanks, these are going to be your biggest, tallest models on the field. Here's a normal sisters model and the Canoness, so you could still have a Canoness leading them. It's a shame that you can't just have one of these, like you can't have a Canoness in one of these warsuits as a Canoness in a warsuit, that you have to go down the route of, oh well, you've got Morven Val there then. But that would have been fantastic. They've done that in the new Grey Knights Codex, where you can have a brother captain in a Dread Knight. So that would have been brilliant if they, you know, and obviously Morven Val herself is in a, you know, custom Paragon Warsuit, so you'd think that her being in charge would allow the Canonesses to jump in one of these and lead from one of those if they want. Hey, maybe we're going to get a new Paragon Warsuit Canoness next year. I know I'm foreshadowing. Here's a Penitent Engine. Penitent Engines are a little bit taller. They're on the same size base, but they're a bit bulkier and a bit taller than these sisters. And they've had a buff with their ballistic skill, which is great. Next to some Imperium models, so we've got a Space Marine on the left, Slime Arbor in the middle, and a Primaris on the right. If you're going up against Primaris, not sure why you will be, or if you want to include sisters as like a ally force, then by all means these ones in the Warsuits are going to be a fair bit bigger, probably Dreadnought size I would think, compared to them. So that's where they stack up. As you can see, Space Marine goes up to the hips, Primaris almost at the chest, and Sly Marbo knee height, no, barely up to the waist, barely. So hope those size comparisons have helped. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for these Paragon Warsuits. You'll find them in your brand new 9th edition Sisters of Battle Codex in the Elite section, and they will cost you 13 power points or 240 points for all 3 of them. Multi-melters will cost you an extra 10 points per model, so right there you're looking at 270 points. You know, you add them to Morven Val, and that's over 500 points there, almost 600 points in 4 models. So what are you getting for these points? Well, the unit consists of 2 Paragons and 1 Paragon Superior. There's no way of getting around that. You can't just have 3 Paragons. Their stat line is a movement of 8 inches, weapon skill, ballistic skill both 3+, strength and toughness of 5, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8 and a save of 2+. The Paragon Superior has the same stat line but has 1 additional attack, so she's got 4 and a leadership of 9. Every model is equipped with a bolt pistol, heavy bolter, 2 storm bolters, Paragon Warblade, frag grenades and crack grenades. So the bolt pistol works as usual. It's a 12-inch range, pistol 1, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. The heavy bolter has had a slight buff in 9th edition. It's a 36-inch range, heavy 3, strength 5, AP -1 and a damage of 2. The Ministorum Heavy Flamer has had a buff. It's now a 12-inch range, heavy D6, strength 6, AP -1, damage 1, and it automatically hits the target. The Multi-Melter has had a slight buff. It's a 24-inch range. It's 2 shots now, so it's heavy 2. Strength 8, AP -4, damage D6, and within half range, so 12 inches or less, you're getting a damage characteristic of the D6 +2. The Paragon Grenade Launcher is the new weapon for this Warsuit. It's a 24-inch, Assault 2, Strength 6, AP -1, damage D3. It's pretty nice, you know. You've got 4 of them all firing this. You're going to have 8 Strength 6 shots there. It's a nice little bonus. The Storm Bolter works as usual, so it's a 24-inch range, Rapid Fire 2, Strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Now we come to the juicy parts, the 2 melee weapons. You can equip them with the Paragon Warblade, which increases the strength +1, so that's strength 6, AP -3, damage 2, and you can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. So they're going for the 4 attacks. And then the Paragon War Mace, which is what these are equipped with, is a strength +4, so that's strength 9, so it beats a Power Fist usually. AP -2, that's not that amazing, but it is damage 3, and each time an attack is made with this weapon, subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll. Now that's the downside of using this weapon, is you're going to have to subtract 1 from the attack roll. War gear options. Any number of models can each have their 2 Storm Bolters replaced with 1 Paragon Grenade Launcher. Now it's important to note, reading that, is, you know, if you equip them with Storm Bolters, they come equipped with 2 Storm Bolters, so that is 4 shots each. So that means you've got 12 shots with the Storm Bolters. Just putting that out there. Any number of models can each have their Heavy Bolter replaced with one of the following: Ministorum Heavy Flamer, 1 Multi-Melter. Any number of models can each have their Paragon Warblade replaced with 1 Paragon War Mace. Abilities: Axe of Faith, Sacred Rites and Shield of Faith, which pretty much means they're going to be getting a 6+ invulnerable. Paragon Warsuit. Each time an attack is allocated to a model in this unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. Now that's the key in all this, is you're subtracting 1 from the damage characteristic. So if if your opponent is trying to hit them with multiple damage weapons, you're going to be taking 1 off them. Keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Ministorum, Adeptus Sororitas, Vehicle, Corps, Celestian, Paragon Warsuits. Now, the additional thing I would have for this unit, other than better, cooler poses, is a slightly better armor save. I'd have a 5+ invulnerable. If Morven Val can have a 4+ invulnerable and half the damage characteristic of the attack, then I'm pretty sure that the Warsuit can also have some kind of invulnerable save, or at least improve the Shield of Faith save. Other than that, I think they're pretty strong. You're only going to be fielding 3 though at a time. Would have been nice to have 6 of them in a squad. I understand that now we're talking almost 1,000 points for you know, 7 models, but still would be great. But other than those couple of things, I think they're a bit like Marmite to look at, whether you like the poses or not, but they do have strong rules. I'm not sure whether many people will take them though, because they are pretty expensive, both in money wise and points cost. What do you guys think of the Paragon Warsuits? Please do put all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.